Okay. Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. Does FOREX price action change? I've been getting some questions in emails, and thank you for sending me those emails about what's going on in the FOREX market. I think you're seeing changes because you're not used to looking at price action over the long term, like years, as opposed to maybe you have 6 months that you've been looking at this stuff, and you're seeing these supposed trends breaking down very quickly, going to a swing point, running another trend, then going into a big range-bound motion that could last for weeks. I mean, if you averaged all this stuff out over a year of squiggly lines, it all makes sense, because you're dealing in the Forex market with a distributed market over, I don't know, 40 currency pairs, all the different combinations between all the different markets, with 6 major pairs that are USD based. That the pound dollar at this time, euro dollar, and the yen dollar is about 50% of the volume of $6.7 trillion a day. So nothing's going to change. That's a big ocean liner going along the line, and you can have people running back and forth across the deck and piling all up on one side. That thing is not going to go anywhere. You can just swing the wheel, and it's going to take a long time to turn that ocean liner. But there is chaotic behavior because you have so much activity going on. You know, it's like if you have a coffee cup and you have a little dollop of cream that you've put in there, and so it looks rather okay. But now you look at a pond, you know, in the early evening, and you see all kinds of little bugs floating around and leaves moving, and it just looks chaotic. There's order in chaos if you know what to look for. And so when we look at the currency market, we look toward order flow. And what's order flow based on? It's based on the individual countries needing stuff from another country. They're not gonna, that other country isn't gonna take payment in, if I'm in the US and I wanna buy something in the euro area, they're not gonna take dollars. You're gonna have to sell your dollars and buy euros. So when a country's goods are cheap in relationship to another country's, then that other country is going to sell their currency, buy that stuff while it's cheap. That's just basic economic transactions. What are those transactions? How do they get going? Oh, yeah, well, one country wants to buy shit from another country. How does that all happen? Well, it happens with an ordering manager from an engine parts consolidator, and they're looking to purchase engine parts from somewhere so they can add it to their inventory. What do? They're not going to call up on the phone and say, hey, I need $4 billion worth of stuff. They're not doing that by themselves. They're going to an investment bank, or, as I said, to an aggregator of their particular product category, large institutional traders, to put the order through, because as an individual purchaser, I don't have access to all the people that are selling, but the institutional brokers do. So the customer, the end customer who wants to buy some engine parts, goes to an investment bank and says, I need to buy $3 billion worth of X currency, and I'm going to sell mine, and this is what I need to do with it. So that constitutes an order from a client to a trader. Those traders, those institutional traders, make up 90% of the $6.7 trillion a day market. As retail traders, we're about 5% of that. The big dog in the thing is the institutional trader, 90% of the market. Bank traders aren't trading on the 5-minute chart. They're not trading on the 15-minute chart. They may be looking at the 4-hour, because they're looking at the long range process. What's this price going to be in 5 days when I'm able to get this trillion order that I have flushed out into this market. They're not going to just drop it in there all at once, because if all the institutional traders decided to do that at the same time, they'd be killing themselves. The institutions tend not to lose because they're doing business. So regardless of whether Forex price action changes or not, it is changing, and it always has been. You're just becoming aware of it because you're getting involved in the Forex market now. And you have a year experience or 2 years experience, and you've been following these crazy educational suggestions that people are giving you as to how you should trade 200 to 1. I have a fast track course that lays the solid foundation that they need to know based on the limited amount of information that they need in order to know that. What I call relevant information. So you have to have relevant information, then you have to put it in a specific order so that it's not jumbled up and you're dancing around not knowing what you're doing, but you put that relevant information into order, and that relevant information then coalesces down into segments, phases, things that need to be done. And because the relevant information is order, those problems then become an order. What I teach in my fast track course is what I call the life cycle of a currency position, which is entry analysis, position management, and exit methodology. You got to know how to get in, hit bid ask. You got to know what to do with that position once it's in action. And then you need to know how to get out. And those are distinct, decoupled problems from each other. They can be solved independently of whatever goes on the other problems, because you pass a message to that next problem down that tells it what to do. I was a software engineer for 33 years. That's called following the life cycles. In software engineering, you call it the software development life cycle, the SDLC. In trading, I've named it the life cycle of a currency position. It's the same thing. It works. It's based on math. It isn't that I'm depending on math to do it, because the math is fuzzy math. It's probabilistic math. Do you need to understand probabilistic math? None any more so than you would have to understand if you're going to play poker or backgammon or chess. There's no hard, fast recipe rule that you have to follow like when you're baking. It's more like general cooking. Oh, I think this needs a little more time, and instead of chicken broth, I'll put in beef broth and maybe some spinach. But no, I don't want spinach. I'll put Brussels sprouts in there. You could cook like that, but you can't bake like that. And so you can't bake in the currency market because there's too much information, and that therefore there's too many variables to consider. And if you follow that one variable, because price action is changing, your system will break. And that's why I differentiate trading from a process, which is what I teach. It's a methodology foundation in principles. Those principles build process, and you apply a methodology against the process in a process-oriented manner to solve the life cycle of a currency position. Entry analysis is a problem, which has one rule. Position management, which is a problem and has one rule. And exit methodology, which is a problem and has one rule. So regardless of what price action is doing, if you understand how to write the conditions for those different rules, then the clutter doesn't make any difference because you're seeing through that. So if wherever it is that you're getting your information, or whoever you think is your guru that's talking to you about this, if they're not talking about business and process and organizing information into a logical manner that's executable in a process manner as opposed to a system manner, built on answering three questions. What do I need to know? How do I apply what I know? And when do I do that? So if I'm going to plant a garden, I need to know what a shovel is and what the seeds are. I need to know how to use the shovel and how to plant the seeds. But I better know when to plant that garden, because if I do it at the wrong time, All the what and the how does me no good, because if I try to plant it in the wintertime, the garden doesn't work. And any dumbass out there can read a friggin' book or look up on an AI and tell you all the what's and the hows of trading. And if that's all they have to teach you, you're not going to be successful. And that's why the failure rate of retail traders is because of the education that you're getting from people who don't know education. All they know is how to teach you the what and the how, but they don't understand the correlation between the when or when to apply it. That's the implementation of the what and the how. Anybody, any dumbass can read a book and tell you what to do. The education is very poor in the market. If you're looking at getting involved deeper into Forex markets seriously, and you're not having the success in your trading that you just know that you should be able to have because other people are successful, why aren't you? Send me an email. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. I'm not trying to sell you a fast track course. I don't have anything to sell. What I would like to do is to be able to do what I've done for well over 50 years in sharing martial arts skills with people, is to help them. And so when I have somebody that's serious, I'll exchange emails. We'll try to get together on a video conference, and I'll try to get you squared away. If I can help you, if you've been trading long enough and you have enough experience about what you're doing wrong, then when I point something out to you, go, oh, yeah, I'll try that. And then off you go. If I can help you that way, that's fine. If you're really confused and you've had some of this bad education out there and you're having trouble shaking it because you can't see a clear path through, well, then you may want to take a course. You don't have to take it from me. I'll talk with you and I'll tell you what you need to look for in someone who's going to be teaching you. What are you going to do? You're going to take an online course where you're going to listen to some asshole doing videos, you get a PDF file? Is that what you're going to do? I'm not able to teach you in a video. I don't know who you are. I want to know how old you are, what your education is, what your work history is. Are you in a family environment? Do you own your own home? What kind of responsibilities do you have? What are your goals? Are you trying to trade to make your car payment? Are you trying to trade to replace your job income? I'm working with you personally, so I have to ask you personal questions so that we get to be friends and I can work with you. That's student teacher. I've been doing this for 57 years in martial arts. Education is critical for you. I'm here to help you. If you would just send me an email, we can get a conversation going. If you don't like me, that's fine. You don't have to send me any more emails. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.